Good morning, everyone. This is day 29 of the vlog, and our family's on day 74 of distancing physically. Thanks for watching our daily video blog. Today's daily prayer for peace country is Romania. And with that, Eliza snaps her fingers and points at me saying, yeah, we've got Eurovision countries again. Today's Romania, tomorrow's Albania. Romania is the country that brought the yodeling rappers to the Eurovision stage in 2017. I'm sure a lot of you remember them. I have an acquaintance I'd love to get to know better who is an economist and expert on Romania. I love listening to things in Romanian and almost being able to understand. Some may not remember that Romanian is a Romance language, along with French, Spanish, and Portuguese that I pretend to speak, and of course with Italian that I don't really speak at all. Today, you are invited to pray for peace, and you can find the link to the daily prayer for peace each day in the description for the vlog on the Community of Christ website. Today, I also invite you to remember Romania with us, and to remember that there's a world out there. Tiona has another book recommendation ready for us. The book today is called Every Heart a Doorway. It's by Sean McGuire and was published in 2016 by Tor. Tiona says this is in the fantasy genre. It's a book about kids who find doors to other worlds. Some of the worlds are really cheery and others are more dark and deathly. The main character gets blamed for a murder because she comes from one of those more dark and deathly worlds. When the kids are brought back into the normal world, everyone thinks they are crazy. The story takes place at Eleanor West's Home for Wayward Children. One of the characters, not the main character, is a trans boy. There's a murder mystery that does get resolved. It's the first book in a series. There were only 1 or 2 parts of the book, Tiona says, that I didn't like. Tiona gives this book 4 out of 5 stars. Well, it's time for my daily check-in with someone from the areas I get to serve in my work with Community of Christ. Yesterday, I checked in with Mel and Troy Roach of Midland, Ontario. Our family cherishes our relationship with Mel and Troy. I always remember being at a family camp at Ziontaria with Mel years ago, where she was producing these beautiful works of poster art to go with our worships each day. My kids love Mel. She sent Tiona lovely personal works of art in the mail. And for the last few years, Troy has been working for the Canada Revitalization Project in Canada East Mission of Community of Christ, doing all sorts of innovative, creative, and experimental emerging church kind of things. Troy was part of the initial conversations to explore using meetup.com and launching Coffee and Conversation that has led to so many wonderful things as part of the creating connection model that's become so important in Canada and in other places now. So it was great to be able to sit down with both Mel and Troy and catch up a little bit on how they're doing. I had them on speaker as we Zoomed because everyone here wanted to be able to say hi. I asked about how they were doing, and they looked at each other, kind of coming to basic agreement non-verbally before Troy spoke. He said, "We're doing well." Troy said, "I'm grateful to have work and to have a routine, and thanks to some of the Zoom stuff we've moved online, we've been able to keep going. Plus," Troy added, "Facebook Live goes to the whole world. So some of what we were doing that was small and local now has a much wider audience." Troy said someone from Botswana joined the Qigong feed this morning. Mel chimed in saying, "I'm keeping busy with my art, and I've also been painting rocks." Mel reflected with a bit of a tone of loss on the small but good network of friends that they left behind in Barrie when they moved to Midland not too long ago. But, said Mel, Midland is smaller and tranquil. And her big smile said that she loves it there. But they're working on getting to know people. Mel has created a little rock garden in the front yard with a sign and passers-by can pick up a rock from the garden. Troy held up the picture on his device of this lovely little garden with a little sign in it. And as people walk by, they read the sign and they do pick up a rock. Mel says she's had to replenish the painted rock supply 3 times. People stop and ponder a little bit about which rock they feel they should choose. And Troy added that when they sit out front of the house in good weather, people stop and thank Mel and tell her how much they appreciate the little rock garden offering. So they're really getting to know their new neighbors. Talking about work, Troy explained the biggest impact for him, first of all, has been needing to move things that took place out in the community to an online setting. Troy says, we've worked to get people to move their connection groups online. They have 8 groups that are doing that either bi-weekly or monthly. Troy says we're connecting new people because of Facebook Live and the internet. He says they tried to stay with the routines that had been established by the connection groups that had been meeting face-to-face. And so they meet online at the same time, providing a certain stability for people during the pandemic. The challenge has been to steer people away from always just talking about the pandemic during their meetings. Pandemic talk, Troy says, tends to permeate every conversation. But we try to keep things hopeful, he says. Troy says, I try to encourage people to see the silver lining in things. And he reflected on the blessing of being able to see spring unfold this year in the slowness of time. Troy says they've lost some people to their programs who were just not comfortable with the shift to Zoom, but they've also had new people join in. And they're hopeful that some of those new people will stay with them when they're able to get back to face-to-face meetings. Troy says that the biggest impact on him personally would be that he's driving a lot less. He used to drive 2 to 3 hours a day to get to different events and activities. And Troy says he's enjoyed being able to rededicate some of that time to gardening or walking or to forest bathing. Mel says that the biggest change for her is the lack of gathering. And she also talked about that with camps canceled this summer, her cooking ministry will be leaving a big empty gap in life. Of course, she also says she's missing the hugs. But yeah, Mel, I can tell, is mourning the 5 cooking gigs that she won't be doing. That's about her love for sharing food, but it's also about all the visiting that gets done in the kitchen. She's already feeling the loss, especially knowing that the Loaves and Fishes family camp is a really important time for them to be able to see their friends from their old Stratford, Ontario stomping grounds. We spent some time talking about finding safe ways to get together with people. Troy was telling me that they've been having conversations in Canada East on how to create replacement events for summer camps and reunions. It was interesting hearing Troy talk about the possibility for hybrid type events that might include some small group outdoor activities in local settings. We're finding it to be almost as difficult, Troy says, to reimagine camps and reunions in completely different ways as what it would have been to try to run the events with all the restrictions that would have been imposed on us. Mel reflected that the hardest part is just not knowing. Will we even be back next summer? Troy and Mel are both excited that their dog Gracie is maybe going to have puppies. Troy says that will be a nice distraction for us from things. I asked them if there were things that they were looking forward to being able to do again soonish. Mel explained that at church, they're such a senior group. She said, we just don't want to risk anything. She said, "It's hard to even go there without panicking a little." Troy was telling me that just last week, the Ontario government said that retail establishments can reopen. And so Troy was saying that they could be looking at opening the Barrie Center Place. That's the experimental emerging church community center type space we have in Barrie that Troy works with. Troy says that they could probably have some activities, maybe a tax clinic or some other things, but not until at least June 1st because of church restrictions on gathering, and also due to the rent abatement that they were granted for being closed. Troy's thinking he might head over there to start looking at traffic flow and thinking about where to buy hand sanitizer and masks. But then he's wondering if they'll have the attendance, or will people rather just stay online? We talked about the possibility of having hybrid events, online and face-to-face. Mel is hoping not to lose some of the advantages that they've found in online gatherings. She was telling me about someone from Elliott Lake who's been joining in one of their online meetups. That's way up north. Mel says that she personally had even stopped going to some things because for her, it would mean riding in with Troy in the morning and spending all day at the center just to be able to attend an event. But now she can join specific activities from home, and it's really great. So, lots of uncertainty about what's ahead, but I know that Mel and Troy are going to be working with folks to develop wonderful, creative solutions. It was great to visit with Mel and Troy. Okay, it's about time for our big daily announcement, everyone. Now in this moment, now in this day, but the question is, what day is today? Wait for it. Today is Friday. Yay, Friday! Anybody else excited that it's Friday? Well, I am not going to keep you much longer than that. I'm hoping to be back again tomorrow with another What Day Is Today video blog. Again tomorrow, I'll remind you of the daily prayer for peace, country for the day. Tiana will have another book recommendation, and I'm looking forward to reporting on another check-in with another person to update you on how they're doing. Friends, I'll put a link to the Creating Connection Facebook page. That's where you can see all the diversity of programs that Troy supports. Information is pushed out there, and if anyone is interested in attending, well, because of the pandemic, things are online, so you can. I also see that World Accord, who we talked about the other day after my visit with Al Wygood in Honduras, now has details up on Facebook about their Global Solidarity virtual conference. They've got great content online starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Saturday and Sunday. I'll put that link in the description too. Okay, so I'm signing off for now from my home in Independence, Missouri. Please, until tomorrow, remember to breathe.